Welcome back to SEV training. Today we're gonna master our first touch. To do this, all we need is a ball and a wall. To start out, we're gonna go right foot only, aiming at the SEV logo. Make sure every time you train, you have a target in mind. My planning foot is gonna face the wall, while this hip is now gonna be opening up. When you're going through that, you wanna make sure that you're lifting your foot high enough and hitting the center of the ball so the ball stays on the ground. Technique is all built on consistency. Anybody can have a good pass every once in a while. You wanna have a good pass every time. So that's what we're trying to build here. The more that it bounces, the slower it goes. And yes, I can hit it like this, sloppy, but that's not building on anything. You want to be consistent with your technique. For the second one, we're now going to jump into two-touch passing. Just a quick reminder before we get started to stay on our toes. There's no reason our heels should ever touch the ground. If you want to go with intensity and you want to go with pace, stay on our toes. We want to pass it to the wall with intensity and make it realistic. If you need to go slow at first, that's all right. Once you feel like you are ready for the next step, go a bit faster, go a bit harder at the wall. Actually challenge that touch. I'll start off nice and slow, trying to build that consistency on how far away that ball comes off my foot when I cushion it. Switch to the left, starting off nice and slow, getting that technique right, making sure we pay attention to the details. That's what's gonna separate you from the next player. Now that we finished with that, we can add a little bit more pace to it, be on our toes a bit more, be more eager and more game realistic. We switch to the left. And for all those that might make excuses like I'm on my left foot, that's why it's bad. Come on now, we gotta train. That's the difference. People train on this, other people don't. It's not a weak foot, it's an untrained foot. For the next one, you need a cone or whatever you want to put to be a marker for you. So right here, I'm going to start on the right side, right about here, lined up with the wall. If you don't have a rebounder like myself, then you're going to want to go about half a step from the middle. So if the middle's here, I'm going to go half a step, boom, then place it in the center of my body. The next one's going to be more game realistic. Now, taking a touch into space after receiving that pass. To start out, the cone's on the right side, so we're going to use our left foot. You're going to pass to the wall at that target. Boom, take a touch across with the inside of our foot. Once we go clear across the cone, then we're gonna take a touch with the outside of our foot and then hit it right back at the wall. So again, inside touch, pass back. Inside touch, outside touch, pass back. Now we're gonna switch the cone over to the other side. Same exact thing, but now we're gonna use our right foot. So it's gonna be pass to the wall, inside touch, outside touch, pass back. Inside touch, outside touch, pass back. Remember, a lot of this stuff goes overlooked because of how simple it is. It's about being able to do simple things at the highest level, under pressure, when there's people watching you, when there's better opponents. So you gotta make sure that we put in the work with this basic stuff before we move on to something crazy. The game is simple. Keep it simple. And that's difficult is putting in the work, sacrificing the time, taking away from other things in your life that you might want to do. That's the difficult part. But the game is simple. So put in that work. The next one is now going to use the outside of our foot with a combination of the inside. So now we're going to be incorporating both our feet. So to start off, I'm going to be using the outside of my right and the inside of my left. Make sure that we angle our hips appropriately. So I'm going to angle my right hip in this direction. And it's a simple pass with the outside of our foot. Pass with the inside of our foot. Outside, inside, outside, inside. Right here, aiming at that target. As we go quicker, it'll give us more of a bounce that we need to stay consistent. So make sure we're giving enough power for that consistency. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch it to the outside of our left, inside of our right. Angle our body appropriately. We start off with the outside, inside, out, in, aiming at that target. If we're not used to using the outside of our foot, that one's gonna be a little bit challenging. So just go ahead and build consistency with just using one single foot. We're gonna start with the right. It's using the outside of the foot. Let's pass back and forth with that wall. Thank you everybody for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow this channel. We hope that you found some of this stuff useful, and go ahead and stay tuned for the next one.